Seetha Hallett. Before I became a TV presenter, I used to work here in the City of London. I was a business analyst specialising in Dutch banks and banking, and obviously knew all the key players in the market. But now it seems there's a new presence. They're called Rabo Deveolpment, they're Dutch, and they're doing great things in Zambia of all places. They sound intriguing, and I'm keen to learn more. So let's go see for ourselves. So here we are in downtown Lusaka, a sprawling city with over 1 million inhabitants. It's also the capital of Zambia. Zambia is a country that's traditionally been reliant on a huge copper industry, but it's had to shift its focus ever since prices started falling in the 70s and continue to drop. Today, the future of the country depends on agriculture, and there's a lot of potential there, with only 1/5 of the country currently cultivated. But how do you turn that potential into productivity? At least part of that answer lies in banking, which is why I'm here to meet Mark Wiesing of Zanaco. Until recently, Zanaco was a state-owned bank, but now Rabobank owns 45% of it, and it calls itself big, strong, and reliable.
Well, we were very interested in Zambia for a number of reasons. The country is politically stable, it has a fairly resilient economy, and it has also a strong agricultural sector that is a large component of the country's economy. And Zanaco was a bank with a strong rural network.
The Zambia Privatization Trust Fund and Zanaco will be offering Zanaco shares to the public. Now you can own your bank by buying Zanaco shares.
We actually sold shares in Zanaco to the Zambian public, because we feel that if we want to be the people's bank, we also need to have a direct link with those people through, for instance, an ownership structure. One of the successes that we have achieved in reaching out to the unbanked is through the launch of mobile banking in Zambia. This mobile banking product, we call it Zapit Instant Banking, and we are able to offer this product to customers without them having to come to our branch. We can offer on the spot a Visa card, which we activate on the spot, and we activate their mobile banking also outside of the branch. There's probably 800,000 people in Zambia with bank accounts, but there's 3 or 4 million people with cell phones.
So the bankers seem pretty pleased with what they've achieved, and it does sound good, but what about the government? It was their bank after all. Are they happy with how things are going?
I think the importance for us as government is, one, that access to banking must be taken as near as possible to where the economic activity is, and more important, to the rural Zambia.
The impact will be very clear. Most of the poverty is in the rural areas. So if we get people to run successful enterprises and jobs get created in agriculture and the related industries, this is something that is going to assist to bring down the levels of poverty in Zambia. So this is absolutely critical.
one thing to give people access to finance, but it's another thing to expect them to then know how to manage that finance properly. And because Zanaco have recognised this, they've developed 3 programs aimed at adults, SMEs and children to teach them the meaning of debt, how to spend, save, manage their income to create a responsible approach to finance.
Financial fitness.
So the whole idea of New Style Zanaco is that the agricultural community should benefit, that small farmers should finally get the access to financial services they need to become big farmers, like this one that belongs to Guy Robinson. But he's not just a farmer, he also represents the farmers of Zambia in many representative bodies, and he's on the board of Zanaco.
Within agriculture, we definitely need finance. There's no agriculture or farmer anywhere that can support themselves. Farming is very critical time-wise. We get a very short rainy season here, and if your inputs aren't in place at the right time, 4 days can make or break a farmer. Tying in the balance sheet with what's on the ground is what we're looking for. The current schemes that the Zambia National Farmers Union and Zanaco have brought up, we've got the Lima scheme, which is for the small-scale farmers. We've got the Emergent Farmer Scheme, which is for farmers slightly bigger and with a little bit more infrastructure. Our farmers are very hungry for knowledge. There's very, very positive moves towards increasing their farms, increasing their wealth, and farming properly.
Do you know any of the emergent farmers that I could actually speak to?
Yes, I know of Vincent. He's just round the corner from us here, and I suggest you go and visit him and see what he's doing.
Rabo Bank's now one of Europe's larger banks, but it started as an initiative of small farmers in Holland who'd felt excluded from the traditional banking world. So in many respects, Rabo Bank's always been there for small farmers, and here in Zambia, they are again.
With the assistance from Zanaco, we were able to build a bigger structure for the chickens, and we're looking at bigger volumes now, from 450 beds that we started with, to now we're talking about 5,000 beds. They have on their program some trainers that come and train us on how to do our books. Someone comes to advise us on pottery, how to go about pottery. Someone comes to advise us on fertilizer application. Everywhere in the world, funding is short, and when you get assistance of this nature, I really feel very proud about Zanaco, and I feel blessed about being in the project.
So here in Africa, I've got a good picture of what Rabo Development does. They try to help communities by providing access to financial services. It's a concept that's always going to need to be tailored to local situations. But to be able to understand just how different those conditions can be, I'm going to need to travel a little bit further. So here we are in Paraguay. It's one of the smaller countries in South America, but it's still 10 times bigger than the Netherlands. It's a country with a fairly low profile in Europe. The capital city is Asunción, and a quarter of the population live here.